Okay, y'all. So, here's your answer to your peanut butter and jelly sandwich question I posted on Facebook just a little bit ago. What's the macros for a traditional peanut butter and jelly sandwich? That was the simple question. Some of you guys wanted to overthink it and say, well, what kind is this? Just normal, whatever you, the normal, typical American family purchases. So I used Sunbeam bread for my bread, rather generic Kroger creamy peanut butter, and Concord grape jelly. So for that sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, 2 servings of peanut butter, because way it spreads, you want to. And I did only use 1 serving of jelly because you can spread it out a little bit better. So bread itself, 17 grams of carbohydrates per piece. 2 grams of protein per piece and 1 gram of fat. So that comes out to 34 carbs, 2 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber in the bread. So peanut butter for each serving. So we're talking about 2 servings. So 2 servings on 1 sandwich. It's 14 carbohydrates, 30 grams of fat, and we'll talk about that in a second. 14 grams of protein for the 2 servings, and 4 grams of fiber. And in peanut butter, this has, ingredient-wise, we'll talk about what this we're going to talk about. Peanuts, sugar, contains 2% or less of molasses, fully hydrogenated vegetable oils like rapeseed, cottonseed, soybean oil, and salt. And for their whatever reason, it contains peanuts for allergy-related stuff. It's peanut butter. But it also has soy in it, so careful of that. So peanut butter has a whole bunch of stuff in it. This kind has a whole bunch of stuff in it you probably don't want. And your grape, it has, I use 1 serving, 13 carbohydrates, no fiber, include added sugars and all that stuff. So the one sandwich is 61 carbohydrates, 32 grams of fat, 18 grams of protein, and 6 grams of fiber. So if you wanted to do it as a net carb sandwich, it still has 55 carbohydrates. So just for fun, I also grabbed Lovin Fresh Aldi brand 0 net carb bread, which means it is very fibrous. I would not compare it to a full grain wheat. It's not a rye, but it's wheat-y, but it tastes good. Like it does. It's not. I'd say it's between like a traditional wheat bread and a traditional white bread, flavor-wise. So I use that. Smucker's sugar-free, strawberry preserves, and Richard's peanut butter, 100% peanuts. So for that, bread-wise, 2 slices of bread, 18 total carbohydrates in that. 1 gram of fat per slice, so it's 2 grams of fat. Protein, 10 grams of protein in the bread, and 18 grams of fiber. So fiber minus your total carbohydrates, that's how you get your net. That's why it's 0 net carb bread. So we'll talk about that in a quick second. Peanut butter, 14 grams of carbohydrates, 32 grams of fat, 16 grams of protein, and 6 grams of fiber. So if you were to break that down into net carbs, that'd be, 8 net grams. So cool thing is, right here, Richard's, Crazy Richard's 100% peanuts peanut butter. You will see, like I stored it upside down. You can kind of see how the oil will separate. I like storing it upside down, that way we can mix it easier. Ingredients, peanuts. That's it. There's no hydrogenated oil, extra sugar, molasses, none of this garbage. It's peanuts. And it's Plain City, Ohio, believe it or not. Boom, right there. Can you see it? Plain City, Ohio. Local stuff. You can buy it at Meijer, Kroger, like Walmart has it. Anyway, so on to the Smuckers. So 5 carbohydrates. I forgot I use 1 serving of this as well. 5 carbohydrates. And no fat, no protein, but it does have some fiber in it. 3 grams of fiber. So that entire sandwich, the second sandwich, entire sandwich has 37 carbohydrates, 34 grams of fat, 26 grams of protein, and 27 grams of fiber. Which, if you did net carbs, that would be a 10 carbohydrate sandwich. So that's not too bad. That's where you see some people eat certain things for higher carb stuff, lower carb stuff. The idea is the fiber that you take in is a non-glycemic index style of thing, means it doesn't spike the insulin in your blood or in your body. It doesn't create an insulin. It doesn't create a blood sugar spike. Doesn't create an insulin spike. So that's why people use net carbs for a lot of stuff. Some people cut them in half. They count half the fiber, whatever. But that's the difference between a sandwich. So to say one's better than the other, it depends. I would definitely say that this is better than this. 100% sure on that. Especially just because the ingredient list is so short and it's peanuts. I mean, come on. Bread wise, you can check it out if you guys want. Like Aldi sells the Love and Fresh 0 net carb bread. It's good, a little more expensive. I'm not a big sandwich person per se, so if I want one every now and again, it's fine. But looking at that, because my daughter wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich tonight for dinner, part of her dinner, and I was okay. So we count carbohydrates for her because she is a type 1 diabetic. So when you look at all that stuff, you got to make sure you calculate for carbohydrate ingestion. So I thought it was interesting. I was making the sandwich. I'm like, I want people to know, it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's not like a big deal. It's got a decent amount of carbohydrates in it. Is that bad? No, it depends on what your when you eat it, what your training looks like. If you train, you work out, other dietary stuff. Is it a one in a blue moon thing? Is it an everyday thing? Is it 4 times a day thing? Everything is good in moderation, including moderation. That's a fun one that I heard the other day. So I really like that. But yeah, so not a quick answer. There's a 7.5 minute video for you. But yeah, so we're looking at regular peanut butter and jelly sandwich, 61 carbs, 32 fat, 18 protein. The second sandwich I showed you, 37 total carbs, 34 grams of fat, 26 grams of protein. Net carb wise, the first sandwich, 55 net carbs. Second sandwich, 10 net carbs. Check you guys on the flip side.